Hello, hello. This is more or less a shout out more than anything for a little Facebook group I run on Facebook called the Ultimate Pro Wrestling Club. If there's anyone listening who's a pro wrestling fan who is not in it, I am looking to expand our entire roster here. So please, for all means, join. For those of you already in it, I'm not doing this as a Let's Play. I'm more doing it, as a way of vocalizing to everyone who's actually part of it already. So, as you know, we are actually trying to expand. This club started out as the Warren, PA Pro Wrestling Club. It's got way too many people outside of Warren, PA to remain the Warren, PA Pro Wrestling Club. So I decided to take it up a notch and just give it a new name that wouldn't restrict it so much. And yeah, I'm looking to expand. So share the club as much as possible. And you'll have to pardon me. I'm not the best right now. I have a head cold, so I might sound like a pile of dung.
I just got to rub my hands together and
very
smile.
Distracted because I totally want to play this, but it's not my first mission here. I have to say, 2K17 is pretty amazing in many ways, but some of this is just ridiculous. Like some of the main events and stuff. So I never really played the game with the normal roster. I actually have like 12 characters I created and I use those. But anyways, so I have to say there is a lot of hate out there for Jason Jordan, and I'm guessing that there's probably a few people in the group that hate him just as much. Of course, he himself is a whiny little bitch in like all respects.
I can't wait to see these two go at it.
So, one thing I want people to remember is Jason Jordan is a performer who's working a role. You know, he's working you over. You're supposed to dislike him. They aren't. When someone acts like that, they aren't trying to push him as a face. They're trying to keep him in kind of a gray area, and I like where he is. Jason Jordan is one of my more favorite wrestlers on the roster, and it is because of his win record. It's not because of the titles he's held. It's not even because of his title reign. His title reign was abysmal. Him and what's his face, they're forgettable people. The pairing of him and Kurt Angle, I thought at first was really hard to take. I don't do well with storylines involving parents and family and stuff. I just think that pro wrestling could expand on its own, normal violent nature. And when you start, throwing in all this crap about how he's the third angle, it's kind of ridiculous. But I have to say, as creative goes, they've done really well with it, where he needs to be. I guess he just won the title on Raw this week, which is kind of neat. Unfortunately, Dean Ambrose has suffered an injury that'll keep him out. They're trying to get him back before WrestleMania, but nobody knows if he'll be able to as of yet. He's going to undergo pretty significant muscle tear repair. It says approximately 9 months on all the stuff I have.
And his opponent from Lucerne,
as far as Jason Jordan goes, though, they paired him with Seth Rollins today, I guess, which is weird, but I'm sure that Jason actually pulled it off pretty well. And that's the thing I would like to say. None of this, none of my like for the wrestler Jason Jordan comes from the fact that creative's doing all this great stuff with him, or that that I love this, Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan storyline. I don't. But Jason Jordan himself can hold a promo, and he can put on one hell of a match. Yes, he's the loser. He's the foil, he's jobbing to everyone. But it makes it look so good all the time. I really don't have anything bad to say about him. I'm really, really happy with the kind of stuff he does. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but most storylines in some way intersect with Jason Jordan. Most storylines nowadays have something to do with him. He's either getting himself into the stories or they're born out of him. Which he's right in the middle of it all, and that's pretty sweet. I mean, that would be a pretty awesome position to be in. And as much as some people might hate him, I'm gonna call it now. He's a future Hall of Famer if he stays in the WWE. If he doesn't, I don't know what other places would do with him. Because a lot of other places do just, pure muscle and violence. In Jason Jordan's case, because of the position he's in, his character is perfect right where it is. And he's very easy for me to watch. Even when he's being at his most annoying, I know that's his role. So that's about what I'm going to say about him. But another thing, today is Rusev's 32nd birthday. So Christmas literally is Rusev Day. So when you're, singing happy birthday to Jesus, tack on and Rusev in there somewhere, okay? All right. And somehow I just cringed inside. Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. I would love it if someone would write what they think about that, because in my opinion, that's some huge news that's going on in Japan. Kenny Omega is a very, very good, very cocky superstar, and I'm not sure what's worked with him and what's not, because I don't really watch anything Japanese. I barely watch anything else as far as Americanized pro wrestling, just because Raw and SmackDown takes so much time to get through in a single week. It's kind of insane. I wish the WWE would kind of cut back. But I love seeing Chris Jericho in a main event role. As far as his run in WWE, yes, it was entertaining. I love him and KO together, but I have to say that Chris Jericho has always been the leader of the group, and in that case, he wasn't. And he was the loser. He was the jobber, and I always kind of fear that that's the path he's going to go from here on out, because he is older. They're pushing that in some of the promos and stuff. He is an older person. I don't know if they're ever going to give him one last hurrah, but I'm glad he has this match with, what is it, Japan Pro Wrestling or something? Because that might revitalize his career. He has a lot of exposure from a a thing that's, you know, on the other side of the world. So, yeah, I'm very impressed with the WWE right now. I think that a lot of what's going on is just top notch. I think a lot of the stories, however, some might be a little bit annoying. They're all fitting together perfectly. Let's see here. Who else? I had one other person I wanted to talk about. Dolph Ziggler. I'll do a quick shout out for that. I had no idea he was ever going to win another title in his WWE career. The guy's been around. He can cut a promo. He's really a good wrestler all around. But he never gets anywhere in the WWE. I remember the cheers when he cashed in the Money in the Bank on Alberto Del Rio, which is one of my most hated superstars. Not just for the performer. I know he has his beef with WWE. I let that be, but I just never liked him. Maybe it was just because I actually got caught up with his annoying attitude, and you know, he played his role, but it was really hard to watch. Yeah, when he won that WWE title, everyone went nuts, and he lost it the next month. Like, he lost at the very next pay-per-view, and that just broke my heart, and he hasn't come back from it. So I'm glad he has another title run. I have no idea what's going to happen from there for him. This could be another flash in the pan just to try and get him to stay signed with the WWE, because he is, you know, he is one of their best superstars.
That was some serious punishment.
Let's see here, Cesaro. That guy is a freak of nature. He could be so much higher in the card than he is. I really hope he wins the Universal or WWE title. I think that just the fact that he knocked his teeth out on a move mid-match, and then he was in the match for another like 16 minutes or so. Actively. He didn't sit on the side and pretend to be the out person, you know, in a tag team. He was in. He was out. He was in. He was out. It was awesome to see Cesaro fight through real life injury.
Wait a minute. Look out.
Okay, that's odd. Just Brock Lesnar randomly coming in and beating the hell out of Cesaro and Dean Ambrose. I really hope this is recording, because for some stupid reason it never shows. Let's see here. What else was I gonna say? I'm not sure. Braun Strowman is a really good person. I think he'll go places. I think Roman Reigns is right where he needs to be as a performer. I think that the WWE universe has honestly been a little unfair to him. He's done his role, you know, and he doesn't necessarily have the same social skills as John Cena did. But, you know, he does the best he can with what he has. And I think he's kind of nice to have at the top, because his character, his attitude just works in most situations. And I followed the guy since he was Lieki, I think his name was, back in the FCW. He was a badass. For those who don't know, FCW was NXT before NXT was NXT. FCW was this hole-in-the-wall promotion down in Florida, Orlando, Florida. And that's where a lot of the WWE wrestlers were being pulled out of. Then the WWE officially bought it, turned it into NXT, and that's the show we have today. Matt Hardy, he is officially broken, or in their case, woken, which is kind of hilarious. That's a sort of big FU to TNA, I'm sure. I can't wait to see more. I have not seen the newest episode. I'm, of course, getting all the spoilers right now. But yeah, I think that Enzo Amore is doing really well in his part. I really don't like Enzo in and of himself. I think that the reports that come out of him are abysmal. I think he's a terrible person, but I think that his role in the WWE is perfect for him. You know, he is such an annoying champion, but he has the it factor, and I love it. He could never come back to Raw or SmackDown and have the same success, though, which is bad. It means he won't stick around for a good long while.
With all the build-up over the last few weeks, this match is guaranteed.
Zack Ryder and the Hype Bros broke my heart. I am a closet Zack Ryder fan, always have been. You know, I loved it when he won the, what was it, United States Championship back in the day. And then his quotable girlfriend on screen, you know, well, who the hell was that? Eve? Can anyone write it in the comments? Eve, I think. But she kicked him in the nards, and then he got the 3-count pin, and that was it for his push. And it's always not sat well with anyone who ever followed him. But yeah, I guess the last one I'll touch on is Kane. Kane came back from running as mayor. I don't know if he lost. I don't know if he's just in the process of, you know, keeping his job while everything's, you know, being decided or, you know, voting on. But he seems to have come back as his old self. It'll all depend on how he does at the next pay-per-view, I'm sure. Kane's one of those people who has had a bad run in the WWE. I'm just going to say it. Kane has been shit on the entire time he's been in the WWE. There's been a few select heavyweight championships. There's been a few tag team titles. There's been a few moments for Kane. And he holds heat well, and people like him, and that's great. But WWE Creative screwed him over long before they screwed Bray Wyatt over. I remember the last time he came back, he, you know, did the thing without the mask. Then he came back with the mask, and they made him out to be a monster. And in his very first pay-per-view, he loses to John Cena. And the second pay-per-view, he loses again. I think to Ryback of all people. And it just kept going and going until finally they teamed him up with Daniel Bryan in Team Hell No, and I actually got to watch them at WrestleMania 29. So I really hope that this run is good for him. I think he definitely deserves it after some of the abysmal stuff he's gone through. Let's see here. Yeah, that's about it for the WWE, I think. I can honestly say I am pretty excited this year. WrestleMania is back in New Orleans. I don't know how many people saw my video with my daughter, but we are trying our hardest to go, and everything's been set up, and everything's just, all we have to do is pull the trigger. but we also need the money. So money is a huge factor. So I don't know, what's going to happen from here on the money part of things, but I really, really hope that we get to go, because the last time I went to WrestleMania 30 was amazing. I got to meet some old superstars. I had good seats. I'm even on the WrestleMania 30 DVD. Believe it or not, I'm right in the first 30 seconds. AJ, you know what I'm talking about, buddy. So WrestleMania is just made for memories. I go speechless when I talk about it, because there's just no words for it. It's just amazing, and you've got to actually be there and just experience it to really get it. For those of you who are trying to go, I know there's one particular kid who's a little young. You got years yet, so be patient. Alright? I won't say your name, but you know who you are. If you want to go that badly, you will find a way to go. Just make sure you get the grades to get the job, because when you don't, you never know, when your next meal's coming, let alone when your next WrestleMania will be. But I think that's about it. I would love it if everyone would share my page, and if anyone's listening out there and is wondering, what this club is. Basically, we just add different news events. I tried to filter out the BS, because a lot of these people tried to fluff their pages out with a bunch of, rumors. And I hate rumor stories. I hate them. Or the WWE, who's hot, who's not type crap. I try my hardest never to put those on my page, because I just, this is an era when we're supposed to be happy that the women aren't just sex symbols in the WWE. They finally have an identity of their own, and here's all these pages that are like, they literally have 7 women who are hot. Okay, so you get bikini pics, but then they have 7 women that are not, and that just rubs me the wrong way, because they'll put a picture of someone in the most unbecoming freaking physical state possible, and just talk about all of their their terrible life and why they're so ugly and stuff. These will be girls who are, able to look up these pages, and I just feel terrible for them. So I never put that stuff on my page. I tried to stick to, wrestling news, actual news, or pictures, or, I just posted a Merry Christmas from AJ Lee on there. I don't just do WWE. There's not always stuff to talk about outside of WWE, so there's a ton of WWE. Elias Sampson. I'll talk about him in a little bit. I want to let this match run through anyways. But, yeah. Where was I? Damn it. I hate my brain.
I'm a bit surprised that we saw a pin attempt here, King. I don't think he's done nearly enough to get the 1, 2, 3.
I don't even remember. Jeez. But anyways, I tried to keep my page with only the best material possible. No padding, no fluff. And believe me, there's more than enough good material out there. They don't really need padding or fluff. I'm trying to expand, but my computer broke, so that kind of set me back. I've been doing everything on my phone and or my PS4, and that just doesn't work quite right. But yeah, if you want to join the Ultimate Pro Wrestling Club, that's the name of it. Go there and request to get in. And, have fun. I would love to see some new people adding stuff to it, their thoughts, their feelings. I'd love to see some back and forth going on. If there's any promoters or anything, which I doubt a promoter's going to watch this, but if there are any promoters who want to promote their indie wrestling groups, I am all for it. Promote, promote, promote. I'm pro indie all the way. I did a little stint where I trained with some indie wrestlers, and it was short-lived because I'm, not really capable of the stuff they do, but it made an impact because indies are just as good as anything you see on TV. The only difference is the tickets are $14 instead of, $50 for, the nosebleed's 100 yards away and 3 stories up. So, promote, promote, promote. Use my page. I am all for you guys. As far as Elias Sampson, he is amazing. He's okay, so Stardust just beat Rusev. That's funny. Elias Sampson is just exactly who he should be on Raw. And it's just nice to see. That's all I'll say about him. But watch him, because good things will come from him. And I can see him getting some mid-card title runs eventually. But, yeah. I don't know. At this point, I feel like I'm blabbering on. Tell me if you like this kind of thing. And what I could do better. I probably should have done some notes or something before I started this. But, yeah. Thanks for listening. And I hope you have a good day. Oh, and a Merry Christmas. How about that? It's Christmas. I always forget that.
Chaos will reign in our triple threat match next.